This is not an electric vehicle charging point. This is a license to print money. So you might remember this property. We rewired this house about 6 months ago, and we're back here today installing a Savardis MaxiCharge EV charging point, but the customer doesn't have an electric vehicle. What's all that about? Let me explain. So when we did the rewire, we installed a cable for an electric vehicle charging point, which is here, even though they didn't have an EV, but we wanted to future-proof things. Well, now they still don't have an EV, but what we're going to do is future-proof things even more by putting the charger on and setting it up so that they can take payments from people in the area who want to charge their vehicles, and they can monetize their driveway. So let me tell you a bit more about the Savardis MaxiCharger and what makes it perfect for these kind of applications. Let's show you what's in the box. So we've got the wall bracket here, super simple and easy to mount, and this is the charging point itself. It looks pretty slick. It's an untethered charging point with a Type 2 socket in the front. Got cable entry points in the bottom here, and on the back it's all sealed, and the bracket allows you to just lock it into place very easily with one screw to secure it at the bottom. There are safety features built into this that mean that we can install it without an additional pen fault protection device. It's got Type A RCD protection with 6 mA DC protection, and this is what makes it so great for this situation. It's got OCCP integration, which means that we can take contactless payments using this charging point. So here at the consumer unit, we've got a spare circuit that we put in for the EV charger, but there's a little hiccup because I thought the cable was down in the consumer unit already, but it doesn't appear to be, so we're going to have to crawl up in the loft and try and pull the cable down. But while we're here, let's see how neat the consumer unit was that good old Johnny No Neck did for us. Welcome back to another edition of Neat or Not Neat. Not bad. Not bad for somebody with no neck. Score out of 10, I'd say 8 out of 10. So the EV charger cable is actually here, and he's even cut it to a nice length for us to take it into an RCBO. So it's pretty much ready to go, which is good. I was worried that I was going to have to pull it down from the loft, but it's all in place, and that means that we don't have to mess around with any of this fire sealant in the back of the board. Nice, so all we've got to do is pop an RCBO in there now. We've got a double pole RCBO that we can fit, which is in the van. We've got a data cable in here as well, which is for CT clamp monitoring or a hardwired data connection if we wanted to. I don't think we're going to need to use it in this particular instance because the main house, the demand is not very high as it is, and it's on a 100 amp main fuse, so we don't really need to put active load management in, but that is an option for the Savardis charger if we wanted to. As usual, our lovely customers very well looking after us, and we are coffee snobs here at Artisan, so if you do employ us, make sure that you serve proper coffee. Now, we appreciate all coffee, but good coffee is even more appreciated. I must admit, I am really enjoying being back on the tools. Trying to get back on the tools 1 or 2 days a week just to keep my hand in, do some jobs with kind of new tech like this, and I'm really finding it great. And this van is so nice to work out of, although I did scratch it up the other day and it didn't make the cut on the video, but I'll show you because I've got it fixed over the weekend, and it's a cracking job. But yeah, that was a little bit of a soul destroying moment when I reversed into a post. So you can't see it at all now, but I scratched it up completely here, and it popped this panel out as well, and it made like a little pop in the paintwork here. But I've got this guy who does my vehicle repairs, and he's done a cracking job, so you can't actually see it anymore. But there was like 2 posts, and I was looking at one, but I didn't see the other. So there was like one here, which I missed, and then one here, and those tiny little bollards that are just like waiting to damage your vehicle and ruin your day. It was one of those horrible bollards. Whoever invented those needs to seriously reconsider their course of life. They've caused a lot of damage and a lot of pain over the years. So let us know in the comments your worst van crash story that you've experienced. What is the stupidest thing you've ever done in a vehicle, or what was the most nightmarish kind of car vehicle accident. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. So a little tip for any of you, if you're getting your house rewired, just get the electricians to put in a cable for an EV charging point, even if you think you're never going to use it. This is what we've done here, and we've just blanked it off in this whisker box. And it just means that it's so easy now to just stick a charger on the wall versus having to pull in a whole new cable from the consumer unit, which would be, you know, a massive job and cost a lot more. Cable's here, ready to go. We've left it plenty long enough so that it can go to pretty much any charging point. So we're just going to take this whisker box off the wall now, take a couple of clips out of this and pop the charger up there. This is the special Artisan Electrics cable that we made when we were at Doncaster Cables Factory. So I'll leave a link up here somewhere where you can watch that video, but we made our own cable and we've got our own labelling on it. Artisan Electrics 5-star electricians 2022. So if you ever see one of these, it's like super rare. You should, you know, make sure you hang on to it because that's going to be worth millions in the future. So this bracket is quite a clever and simple design. Those two screws at the top just slot into the bracket. So all you've got to do is basically fix the bracket with two screws at the back, and then this is a locking screw which just goes in the bottom there to hold it in place. I've just got to figure out the right height for this. I reckon that'll be about right. Get it level, two screws, and then it'll just lock into place. Screws that they give us. Two big fat screws and two big fat plugs. So they are 8mm holes. Let's see if I've got an 8mm STS drill bit now. Oh, that's an 8. But that's an old school one. I'm gonna go old school. I don't know if I've got a hammer drill that will actually work with that, that's the trouble. There's 7. The closest I've got in STS is a 7. This is an 8. I'm gonna see if I've got a drill driver that will do, that has a hammer function. These Hilti ones that we've got don't have hammer on them, so they're good for screwing in things or drilling metal, but not for drilling masonry. But I think I've got another drill driver somewhere. I've got a Milwaukee one in here somewhere. Ah yes, that one does have hammer, so let's try that. Ah yes, here we go, I've got an 8mm SDS there. So I'm going for the pilot look here today. As I can't find my normal safe style glasses, I've put them down somewhere. I'm going to wear these because safety is more important than fashion. Cameraman was just mocking me, saying he thought I was using the hammer the wrong way. I'm not. This bottom bit of the hammer is designed to just bang your raw plugs in, okay? So sometimes if you hit them with the metal part, it will sort of mush them up a little bit, but if you hit plastic on plastic, it does the job better. So you just like that. And this bit on the bottom of this special electrician's hammer, which we could say is tool of the day today, I'll leave a link in the description. It is a beautiful hammer. That is what that's for. One classic mistake that a lot of tradespeople, including myself, are guilty of sometimes is, you know, when you've got a PH screw that you're trying to screw in with a PZ bit, and you think, it'll be fine, and you can't be bothered to go back to the van to change it over. Well, I just did that and it started to mush the screw head up. So I've swapped it to a PH2 now, and it goes in absolutely like butter. Don't be lazy, always use the right bit. That is the lesson. So even with a PH2, it's completely mashed this screw up. And this is one area where a lot of manufacturers could improve, including Savardis on this particular one, is just giving decent quality screws with their products. It's only a small thing, but giving decent quality screws just makes the install much easier. And in the end, like with this now, I'm gonna have to take this out and then just use a normal screw, which is not ideal. As you can tell by the grin on my face, I am quite excited that that's just happened, because it gives me an excuse to use these sexy new Weira Joker spanners, which I don't really need, but I kind of they were just so beautiful. I was like, oh, I've got to try those. We did a Tools for Sparks review on them. Corey actually did it. So if you want to see that, go and subscribe to Tools for Sparks. It's our other channel where we do tool videos. But I'm going to give this a go here. That is nice. Look at that. So my first impressions of this are, it's really good quality charging point. It's quite compact, but it feels solid. You know, the back plate is metallic, which I really like, and the whole thing, the plastics and everything, just feel really good quality. We're going to take the cable in the bottom, and it's nice that they provide a compression gland there for you, and then the connections are just inside here. It is a little bit tight for space, but it's enough. You can just remove this RJ45, and then live, neutral and earth go in there. So they give you enough room, so I'm going to get it on the wall. So this is really nice. You can just slot it in without having to fix it back, and then it enables you to measure off your cable really accurately. Then you can put the cable in, and then you can finally fix it back. I really like that feature. So I'm just going to get this clipped up. I've left plenty of slack below here, just in case they ever want to change it to a different one in the future. You know, it's always good to give yourself some options. I said it in a video the other day, your future self will thank you if you leave yourself some extra cable to play with, just in case of changes, because things move on quite quickly in the industry. And you know, this charger is great now, but in 3, 5, 10 years time, there might be something else that the customer wants, and if you've got the flexibility, then you can always change it. Now before we pop this on the wall, I want to show you a couple of really cool things about this. Under here is a weatherproof data cable socket. You can put an RJ45 plug on the end of the cable, gland it onto this, and you've got a nice weatherproof data connection. The other cool thing is here you've got a SIM card slot. So for example, if this was a commercial install in, you know, a commercial car park or something with no Wi-Fi, well, easy to put a 4G SIM card in, and then you've got that connectivity to enable you to take the payments, etc. Although there isn't a SIM card slot in this one, it does come as an optional extra. In terms of safety features, it's got everything built in that you need. Type A RCD with 6 mA DC protection and PEM fault protection. For UK installations, it's fully safe and compliant. The other thing you need to know about this as well is that it's not just an untethered charging point, you can get it in a tethered version as well. So usually I would leave a bit of slack inside here. But with this one, I'm tempted to just go straight in the terminals. It's just because there's not that much space to loop the conductors round, and I don't really want to cram it full of wires. And we've left ourselves plenty of room underneath with the slack cable, so I'm just going to cut them straight long enough to go into the terminals, I think, on this one. My croppers are just not sharp enough. I've had these since I started Artisan. I bought them when I started the company, these Kako ones, and they are nice, but they're just a bit blunt now. I'm putting these on just because I'm trying so hard to lever the sleeving off the wires that I'm going to end up poking myself in the eye if I'm not careful. So, you know, when you drop a screw and you're like, no, everything goes into slow motion and you're like, no, and then it goes down a crack in between some gravel and there's just no way of finding it ever again. Well, fortunately, Savardis have thought about this situation. They've given us a spare screw, which is really nice. So that has made my day a little bit brighter, because I was really not looking forward to having to remove half the gravel on this driveway in order to find the tiny little screw that I just dropped. So that's all connected inside, covers back on. Now I'm going to put this final front cover, which just snaps on very nicely. I'm going to peel this lovely plastic off the screen. Very satisfying. This will click on like that. And then we've just got 3 screws basically. So that's it, ready to connect it at the other end and liven it up. Good, yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Sorry I can't stop, I really got to run.
Oh, that's all right, no, thanks for saying hi. Yeah, how random. So what was that, like an Asda truck or something? So that was just some random food delivery driver who just pulled up to say, love your videos. So if you're watching, thanks for saying hello. So I'm going to connect this breaker in, but I've got to remove the bus bar to do that. So I'm just going to turn the power off. Give me a chance to test the RCPOs as well. So I'm just connecting the breaker in, and I've noticed Johnny No Neck has done something slightly annoying, which is that he's put all of the neutral tails in a line. He's not left gaps for the spares. So I'm gonna have to shift all of these across basically. Yeah, so I've just redone all of those now, and I've left a gap for number 5, which is for the conservatory. We run in a radial circuit for the conservatory because they're having one built. So that means that that can easily be added as an RCPO later. So that's all connected in, and time to liven it up. So now that's all livened up, it's time to commission it, and they have this handy little activation card and a lovely instruction manual, so I'm just going to follow that. I'm just checking this out, you know, like you do. Third person of the day, they weren't a viewer, but they were just checking us out. Walked along, Artisan Electrics, just checking you out. Well, I've got to say the connectivity of this charge point so far I'm really impressed with. Sometimes they can be a bit of a nightmare to pair up, but that paired to the Wi-Fi super easy. Firmware update went on super easy as well, which is what we like to see. So now we're going to do the fun bit. What I haven't mentioned to you yet is about the OCCP connectivity, and that's what makes this job different from most of the other charging points that we do, because this charging point's got OCCP connectivity, it means that any online payment system for EV charging can basically piggyback onto this, and we can use that as a platform to take payments for charging. There are loads of different options out there, but Artisan are creating our own charging network, and we're using the TAP system. TAP Electric have an app that we can use, and we're creating a network of charging points where people can use, pay for charges, and then we can manage the payments for our clients. So we've gone through the commissioning process. The charging point is connected to the internet, and what we've done is within the settings of the Autel Charge app, we've paired it up with our back office system. Now, there are so many back office systems out there, lots of different choices. This charging point works with most of them. For us, we've gone with Tap Electric because it's a fee-free service whereby you only pay commission when you get charging sessions done, so there's no monthly fee, so we liked that. But let me get the app out and I'll show you how it looks, because now this charging point is on the Artisan Electric's charging network. So now anyone who has the Tap Electric app will be able to open it up, and on the map, if they go to the map view, they will be able to see my charging point here on the network. And if they zoom in, they can click on it, they can see the address, they can see that it's run by us here at Artisan Electrics. They can see the last time somebody charged, so they know whether it's working properly or not. They can even rate the charging point. We've done a little test rating, 4 stars, but it will be a 5-star charging point, don't you worry. And they can give information about the charging session, and all the price for this particular charging point is there. So for example, you can set a charge for idling. If they just park here and they leave themselves plugged in, you can charge them for per hour or something for basically just using the parking space. Then you set your price per kilowatt hour, and you can set a minimum charge as well for the session, so that if they just come and plug in for 5 minutes or whatever, you know, there's a minimum charge of £1 or £5 or whatever you want it to be. Basically, you can set the fees according to your electricity costs or what you want in terms of financial return to make it a viable financial option for you to do. But now the true test is whether it actually works in real life. So I've invited a friend to come along with his electric van, and we'll get him to try it out and see if he can pay for a charge. Now the other advantage to having these charging points connected to a back office system is monitoring. We can monitor live whether these charging points are active and working or not, and then we can do reactive maintenance. So for example, for businesses, if we're installing multiple charge points, we can monitor those for them and do reactive maintenance. If one breaks down, we can go out and fix it for them, and that can become part of a maintenance package that we offer to our clients, which is good recurring revenue for us, and it's a good additional service that we can offer to our clients. So these kind of charging points that have OCCP connection are really the future, because they give you so many more options in terms of management and payment. So now obviously this location appears on the app for anyone who's searching, which is great, but we want to go the next level. So what we're going to do is actually put a sign on here saying electric vehicle charging point, and we're going to do another sign with a QR code that people who are in the area who want to charge up can just scan it, and it'll bring the charging point and the payment portal straight up for them, so that it makes it as simple and easy as possible for people in the area to know that there's a charging point available. Because it may well be people who live around here, live in a block of flats, they don't have their own off-street parking, and they will find it perfect to be able to just pop round here and charge their vehicle up at the neighbour's house. So that is it. The first customer has come and paid for a charge using our new monetized charging point. If this is of interest to you, make sure you check out the links in the description where you can find out more about the Savardis MaxiCharger. You can find out more about the Tap Electric app that we've used as a back office payment system, and you can find out more from us if you'd like us to install a charging point for you that you can use to monetize your home or business car park. But either way, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.